Hi neighbors, and thanks again for tuning in to another installment of the video recap of Bayport Property Owners Association Noah Jacobson meeting recap. Again, for the small print, keep in mind that this is not the official minutes of tonight's meeting. Those minutes have not been approved. This is simply my quick recap of what took place tonight. So feel free to check the minutes if you want the official. Let me first say that we had, out of our board members, I believe we had 7 or 8 in attendance tonight. The meeting went a little long. It's just after 9 o'clock. And let me take you through the issues. First off, we had Jeannie Spencer with our ARC committee discuss what's going on over there. She had, I believe, a large number of approvals to go through, but things are moving along just fine. They had a covenants committee meeting recently, and a corollary to that discussion is we talked about it at the meeting tonight, whereby we do have some situations where people do get fined for defects on their property, and then they pay the fine and then nothing is done. And we agreed that it should be our policy to continue aggressively pursuing those situations. Let me backtrack a little. We also had Mike Wilkerson. He's a dual role on the board. He's the waterways guy and the treasurer. As far as treasurer's report goes, we have roughly, as of the end of May, $558,000 plus in the treasury. But we are still short almost $134,000. That is a large accounts receivable. Some of that is from one of our members, which we are pursuing aggressively as well. But let me just say that this is a common factor. I've served on the board before and noticed it, and when the attorney sends out the lien letters, usually a huge portion of that does come in. We've noticed some discrepancies on our treasurer's report. We're a little over in areas that we shouldn't be. We're going to research as to why that's going on. Going down the list on the waterways report, also from Mike, we do have, as a function of the warmer water, we do have some issues with algae. Even though the lake is aerated, just like the ocean is very well aerated, sometimes you get red tide. Well, in our lake, even though the lake oxygen levels are good, there are issues that we get with algae blooms. Not as bad as before, but we are going to address those on a case-by-case basis with lake doctors. And we did authorize Mike to go ahead and take care of that on an as-needed basis. Buildings and grounds, Don Garand, very detailed report tonight. The summation of that report is the sick palm that's at the Bayside West entrance is getting replaced with 3 Washingtonia. Also, a landscape improvement will happen on that island. There's also a push, and we're going to wait until we feel financially we're ready for it, hopefully by the end of this year, but a re-landscape project and a seawall repair over by the boat lift. And that landscape project would also include fencing that would protect areas there where trash is being left and loitering is going on. Going down the list, gates, we talked a little about gates. We're starting to get some empirical data in from our new company in Vera on the gates. As of this moment, last week, for 7 days on the owner side, we had 11,503 vehicles come through on the West Gate owners lane. On the East Gate owners lane, we had 3,340 vehicles pass through. We have traffic counters on the guest lanes, and the data on those will come at the end of this week, and hopefully next month I'll be able to report the numbers for both lanes, both gates, and that'll be very valuable. Just know now that right now one gate gets about a little over 3 times the volume of the other on just the owner's lane. Going down the list on collections and on Tamara Allman's report, she is our attorney liaison. We are still aggressively pursuing many cases. One thing that I want to report to you is recall that about 6 months ago we had 27 properties inside the community that were non-joinder or not members of the association. We are now down to 18. And hopefully some more of those are about to convert. One other issue which I wish to report about is we, as you might know from reading the newsletter, Courtland Partners is looking at a project which they actually have a permit for on the front 10 acres, which is next to the park area. Right now there is some disagreement over the reciprocal easement agreement and whether that is being honored. Because when we look at the site plan, we see areas for improvement. Their position is different. And so as of this moment, we are trying to work out those differences in an amicable fashion. And hopefully a month from now, I'll be able to tell you. But at this moment, you know, it's just, it is a frustration, and that access to our lift is crucial to us in the event that we have to service the lift or make any changes to it. It's important that we're able to access it easily, both by vehicle and by pedestrian access. So that is the wrap up from tonight's meeting. I hope you listened to the video, got informed about what's going on in your community. And of course, one of the things that this community needs more than anything else on the board end is new blood to take over some of these tired board members that serve here that are looking for some new innovative blood to come in and take over. So if you're interested in serving on the board, please talk to a board member, let it be known. And it's good work, and it makes you feel good, and you learn a lot about your community at the same time, and it's good stuff. So again, thank you. Next board meeting is July 7th, second Tuesday of the month, and look forward to you tuning in. Have a great night. Good night.